Night show on Ramadan special EAVA 102.5 FM. I'm your host Yusuf Chambers, and we got some guests in the studio. We've got a lot of issues that we're going to be discussing tonight: the rise of the far right, disorder in society, and Euro elections. Subhanallah. But before we start that, let's introduce the guests anyway. So Raiz Khan, one of the household favourites in Leicester. Assalamu alaikum, bro. How you doing, Philly?
Household favourite.
You are? Yes, you are.
I'm not sure about it. No. Far from it.
Yeah, and then our dear friend, brother Ahmed Mavari. I can never Moravia. Of course, now he's very, very infamously famous for football. CFA,
aka Martin Sheen.
Yeah, could be Martin Sheen, the Asian equivalent of Martin Sheen.
Wow.
And so, assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum salam.
How you doing, brother? How's your Ramadan been?
I don't know where it's gone. I don't know where the time's gone.
Yeah. You know, it's like we're in the third 10 days now. Subhanallah, we're right towards the end. 9 days left, is it? Or could be even less, you never know. And then our beautiful brother, mashallah, Daud Garcia. Assalamu alaikum. Garcia.
Yeah.
How you doing there, brother?
That's thrown me, that has, Martin Sheen. That's really tickled me.
How's your Ramadan been, bro?
Yeah, it's been good, actually.
So far, yeah?
Yeah.
You've been spending a lot of time in the community this year.
I might have done.
He's been spending a lot of time down my house, and we have.
Yeah, that's what I meant by the community.
We have an eating competition.
Excuse me.
Right,
Hold on. Stop. Raiz, did you know? I'm actually going to compliment Raiz.
Why?
Yeah.
Do you know how much washing up Raiz does?
Oh, yeah.
I do the cooking.
Oh, right.
So I do all the cooking,
yeah.
And he does all the washing. And not just he washes as I cook. So he literally, as I use something, can I wash it now? He's there like a hound. Can I wash that now? That's OCD, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think it's a reaction to other members of the household,
yes,
causing rather a lot of a bottleneck.
That's what it is.
Exactly. So, guys, let's focus on some subjects right now. I mean, the first thing before we do that, we've got some pretty awful news to share, and Ahmed, I think you probably are in a better position to talk about it. But brother Zian Omar from CFA, a CFA
That's
student,
correct, yes.
as well as probably from Judge Meadow.
Yeah, he's year 7 at Judge Meadow as well.
Yeah.
He's been missing since this afternoon, 3:15. He's not returned home. He was last seen at Davenport Road.
Wow.
And I think parents and mothers and sisters and brothers have been searching around Evington, Highfields and everything, and I believe they're still doing it as well.
Well, all of us need to partake in that, and I think what we do is we'll get an image and put it up on the Facebook page.
Very good idea.
And I've shared it on my Facebook page, so everyone, brothers and sisters, as soon as you see this image appear on Ramadan FM, okay, you can go to the Facebook page and you can just put Ramadan.fm in, and you will find our page. We will share that image. Our producer, Brother Akil, would of course share it, inshallah.
Yeah, he's looking for it now.
Yeah, he's looking for it now, and it's on my Facebook page, Brother Akil. So please put it up there, brothers and sisters. And we all ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for his parents, and maybe the child be returned safely and soundly, very quickly, by the end of, before Fajr, inshallah. Ameen. I'm making that dua, so all of you say Ameen. It's a terrible, terrible situation. I mean, we all start to think, about our own children. When we hear somebody's missing, we think, wow, can I just, 1 second, I'm just going to go and call my son or my daughter. Are they home? Are they safe? So this is something very devastating for parents, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it really, really easy for them. Do you know much about the boy, Brother Ahmed?
I do actually, because I did coach him about 3-4 years ago. And actually, he's a good, decent kid.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I mean, we don't know the circumstances why he's disappeared or what. The Almighty knows the best, but inshallah, we do find him, and this is the time where, as a community, we need to pull together and help out where we can. It doesn't matter, it's somebody's son, somebody's brother, and we need to pull together and try to help this family. This is the most important thing: is the safety of this child. He's only 12 years old.
Yeah, 12 years of age. 12 years of age, brothers and sisters. You heard it. You're listening actually to Ramadan special EAVA 102.5 FM, and we're also broadcasting on the World Wide Web on Ramadan.fm and also on Facebook, so you can join us there. We're going to be taking your calls and messages, so it's 0116 212 9324 if you want to call us live in the studio. Just this is actually entitled Loose Talk. I don't really like that whole concept of loose talk at all, but you can text us about it, 07450 925 084. There's Brother Garcia, Sheikh Garcia in the room, and we've got Brother Ahmed from CFA, and we've got Raiz Khan, alhamdulillah, and there is the brother. May Allah, what a beautiful, mashallah, face. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help that brother to be returned safely to his parents tonight, inshallah, bi-idhni Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the month of mercy and forgiveness. So definitely, Daud, would you mind sharing mine? Please. There we are. So the thing that we want to talk about is the rise of the far right, and it's very timely you should come in, Ahmed, because I know that the BBC and some other outlets have done a big piece on you, an article, and you've been in and out there, yeah? And also, we know the guys either side of you know a lot about this subject, so I think I'm increasingly worried about how media outlets are giving a voice to people that actually got nothing seemingly to add to the show at all. And they seem to be giving unduly far too much airtime, you know? And they are far right, they're extreme, you know? If it had been perhaps a Muslim if that person had been probably a Muslim, I don't know whether they would have got that much airtime. Maybe not, maybe they would. Maybe that's the question we're also asking tonight. Is there some discrimination? Issues of discrimination going on here? Is there, are the far right being given too much of a voice and therefore being made too more popular amongst the Joe public outside in society? Is that the case? So let's start with you, Brother Ahmed, and then we'll move on to the other two guests. You know, obviously, CFA, you've seen your fair share of what you probably term as blatant discrimination and racism in football.
Definitely. I think on the rise now is more Islamophobia. You're getting attacked for your religion now, for your beliefs and all that. That's the most important thing. I mean, I've been mentioning it to the FA for the last 2-3 seasons now, since 2016. And I did mention, I said, look, it's not so much your colour now, it's you're getting attacked for your beliefs and your religion.
Yeah.
And nothing's been done about it, basically.
Somebody called Maria Garcia has just joined us, subhanallah, and Manaf Master and Sam John Paul. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them all. Assalamu alaikum to all of you. Just share the Facebook page live. Make sure that you share the picture of the young boy that's gone missing tonight. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for Zain Umar to be returned home very quickly, inshallah, bi-idhni Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what about you, Raiz? Raiz, obviously you're part of organizations that are anti far right, aren't you? In the football fraternity.
Yes.
What do you do?
Not a lot.
What do you? We know you do a lot, bro. But
no, I try to speak out against these far right organisations. For example, DFLA or Tommy Robinson, or these other groups that are out that sprung from, especially from Brexit. It's given them voice now to become more bigot, more racist.
Yeah.
Bigoted. Sorry, more racist. Also because politicians as well, certain politicians like POTUS, Trump, he's given the far right a voice.
Yeah.
And now the far right is rising in Europe. It's in most countries now. They're getting they're getting a popular vote now. So it's becoming more and more the working class.
Do you think that they have a point? Do you think they have a point?
I think they do, yeah.
You think sometimes they are shoved under the carpet, their issues are shoved under the carpet?
Yeah.
What do you think, Daud? I mean, do you think that the far right have got a point that maybe there's discrimination against them?
Yeah, of course there is. Everyone gets discriminated against. But I never think racism ever went away.
Never did.
Never. And now with media and the way the news is and everything else, for me it's just one big game, and they want it to be this way. And we don't help ourselves either. I don't think our own actions help us, our communities and stuff.
You're talking about the Muslim or the Asian community here?
No, all right, calm down. But the Muslims.
I'm just checking. I don't know who you're talking about. That's all.
Think about the Muslim communities. In fact, Asians, all of us in general. We've all gone back. Like in the days when we was young, we never had like the disunity. It was just one mosque. Everyone came to it. Really. Now everyone wants their own little 2 pence worth. That's a form of racism towards each other.
Divide and rule.
Yeah.
Well,
self-inflicted.
Divide and rule has always been there, hasn't it?
Yeah, but this is all part and parcel. It all helps towards it.
The thing is now, with certain elements in the community, they give us a bad name. For example, these grooming gangs.
What's that?
They've given such a terrible, terrible name. And also, you've got the extremists out there that do stupid things, evil things, and so we get a lot of slack for it. We get the blame for it. The whole community get blamed for it.
So do you think that Daud seems to have been in the depression? I think I might agree with him in some aspects that there's a rise of selfishness, and therefore, subhanallah, that there's a need for people to vent their spleen, because they're on social media all the time as well, aren't they? Social media has a lot to do with it, doesn't it?
I just want to say to Raiz, Yusuf Chambers just agreed with me.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, the thing is, I can't disagree with you all the time.
No, I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm an anchor here on the radio. By the way, we're on Ramadan special, EAVA 102.5 FM. Keep it locked on that dial until the end of Ramadan and beyond Ramadan, inshallah. Societal disorder. Yeah, it's on the increase. Is it because social media is given rise to more and more selfishness? Everyone wants my page, my likes, my voice has to be heard. Where does it end?
It doesn't.
It doesn't end.
It's only going to get worse.
Exactly.
There's no way it cannot get worse.
This was brought in the 1980s by Margaret Thatcher.
Individualism.
Individualism. She brought it in. Whereas 100% she brought it in because it was all about community, all about family. As soon as she came in the 80s, it was all about individual, about me. Look after yourself.
I don't know if we can just blame her.
No, but she had a big
society,
major... No, but
surely society in itself and the way things are and the way... Look, everyone's...
People are catalysts, aren't they? There's a catalyst. There's a beginning to... Selfishness. Has society become a lot more?
Absolutely.
We're the other side of 50, aren't we? Most of us over here.
I'm almost there. You three are over it. I'm almost.
No, we're under it.
No, you're not. How old are you?
48.
But look,
I'm under it as well.
We're touching there.
Yes.
Let's do one at a time.
Definitely.
Ahmed.
Yes, we have. I mean, before it was a bit more united, uniformed, and everything. Now, with social media, I think everybody wants a voice. That's the most important thing. I don't think, me personally, I think society has changed. Everybody wants to voice their opinion. That's the most important thing. And with social media and everything, that plays a big part. And you can, you don't need to have a big rally. You can just say something on Facebook or whatever, on Twitter or what, and it'll reach millions and thousands.
Literally millions could be receiving a message from somebody who's never actually spoken in media, or he's not studied media, he's not studied politics, he's not... That's a good thing in some respects, though, isn't it, Riaz?
It's got its pros and cons, hasn't it?
Yes, definitely. But when I was growing up, we had to stick together. The Asians and the blacks had to stick together because of the racism out there. And there's all a sense of a community in those days. We looked after each other, we looked out for each other. But then, I don't know what happened, we sort of went wrong somewhere. I don't know where.
I agree with you.
That's just life. It's happened to every civilization. It's the way humans work.
Yeah. No, not. I think we've become more desensitized to atrocities.
Well, no, that's the goal, though, isn't it? If you look at the media, the whole goal of the media is, in every way, television, films, everything, is to desensitize us. So that when something bad does happen, we're like...
Okay. In the old days, when we saw a plane crash, people died, we were like, oh my God, that's so terrible. If you see it now, it's like, okay.
Desensitized. We've become desensitized. Brothers and sisters out there, Ramadan special, EAVA 102.5 FM is the station. Keep it locked there. We will be asking you guys to give your views now. Has society become more desensitized? What's happening? In terms of the society, is there disorder and chaos now? Why is that disorder and chaos happening? There's the rise of the far right. Are they being given too much airtime, illegitimately? So 0116 212 9324 is the telephone line, or text us on 07450 925 084, or you can message us on Facebook. Noor Aslam has said on Facebook in the messages, media has a lot to do with what's happening. Media has to do
within society.
Within society. So we just got another edition. So I mean, that's a very generalized statement. What does that mean, actually? Media has a lot to do with what? The chaos, the disorder, you know? I mean, the point, by the end of this show, we want to try and get some solutions. We don't want to just gripe on about it and, moan and complain, because we're great at moaning and complaining as a community.
You are.
Well, I'm part of the community, so are you, Daud Garcia. Right, so Daud Garcia, what is your understanding of this statement here? You said that he's mirroring what you're saying. But what do you mean by that? How do they actually create more chaos and disorder and disunity? Because isn't that the issue about disunity?
Let's just take music. We'll just use music for now. I know a lot of people say music ain't this. Look, you look at all the hip hop, all the rave scene, all that kind of scene there. Not the rave scene, all that music. All it went from being from someone talking about their experience in the ghettos and stuff. Now what it is I own this car, this money, that money.
Get this girl.
Shoot this, shoot that, female this, female that. Surely, and now look at the little kids.
They want to be like gangsters,
Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. They literally watch it, and they want that life. You want what you see on the television. It is the best brainwashing tool out there. Nothing brainwashes better than the TV.
But Daud, I mean, television is now passé. I mean, we don't have a problem with television anymore. What we have a problem with is smartphones and actually social media driven. A lot of it, of course, is fake news. The problem of fake news appearing and everyone sharing it without checking it. And Islamically, we're not supposed to do that, are we, Daud?
Look, everything's fake. The media is fake. Everything you've ever watched is fake. What's real and what's not real? That's the question, eh?
No, but as long as it's selling, you mean?
Yeah, it's like everything is just there. They have people with what they call them, like think tanks, and they all sit down in a room, and all they want to say is, how can we get them? You know,
you think it's a big conspiracy society, do you?
No, it's not conspiracy. It's just business. It's just clever to sell things. When you go to the supermarket, they put the chocolates there because you're going to have kids with you right at the front of the till. The kids grab the chocolates. Do you see what I'm saying? They're just clever on how they know humans.
And I think with youngsters, especially, I mean, in our case, they all want to be little gangsters, don't they?
But they're just sponges. They sponge. If you put them around, for instance, when they're with you and they're all playing football and they're all out and about, they become kids in football. Yet the minute you let go of them, they're on, what's the game called they all play?
Fortnite.
Okay, all of a sudden, now they're Fortnite heads. You know, it's like, they're sponges. They will just, like in Islam, they say you become how the people you're around or whatever it is, right?
Choose your companions well, for you will become like them. And you'll be raised with them as well.
Well, surely that's the media as well.
Well, yeah, everybody's got influencers, haven't they?
Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, we've got social media influencers now, and some of them are not qualified to actually influence anybody in the correct way. Somebody said, Salam, please help my cousin's son to find him. I think they're referring to Zian Omar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow him to be found, as we've said. I had this on WhatsApp picture. I didn't understand that. A repeated lie becomes true. Oh yeah, a reported or repeated lie becomes true.
Lots of people do it, bro. Lots of people do it.
That's what we just said before, fake news, isn't it?
Yeah.
They just forward things without thinking.
Yeah. No, they do. A lot of people do. I mean, look, everyone's responsible for doing it, Daud. I'm sure you've done it as well, haven't you?
No, I actually research things.
Whiter than white, eh?
No, it doesn't.
Because I've seen a lot of people make the mistake, and it's like there was a thing where they accused some guy of, I can't really say what it is, but they accused him of something, and loads of people and then they found out it wasn't true. But everyone posted it, shared it. What do they call it? Is it a lynch mob? You have like a lynch mob kind of people, and they just. You know, everyone, like, there's so much racism I see against Islam at the minute. I've got lots of EDL and stuff on my Facebook, you know, I've got lots of people that hate Muslims, but I don't delete them because I think, well, how are you supposed to educate them if you don't, you know? And when I see some of the stuff they post, I think, you've not even researched it. Yeah. And then it all turns out to be a lie, and they're like, yeah, but so could have been true.
Yeah. Should have been true. Well, they want it to be true. But the point is, the society where we're all hating each other and being disunited and having disunity is not a very nice place to be for anyone, is it? Is it Riaz? Is it a nice place to be when people are fighting each other and hating on each other?
Of course not, but that's how it is. It's always been like that from the days of, back in the day when the Prophet ﷺ was there, was always people hating him and fighting with him. It's never going to go.
Is it worse now than it was then?
Absolutely, yeah. Of course it is.
Is it?
Why?
Because
Let's get to the bottom of this.
Or is it just a complete different situation altogether?
No, we're fighting each other now a lot.
Yeah, but we're not in them
We're
days.
jealous.
They were killing in them days.
That's the most
They're killing each other as well in different countries.
what we're teaching the kids, because I mean I do a lot with kids, you know that, Riaz.
Yeah.
And the kids, they're not bothered who's white, black, or whatever. As long as you know, they're not bothered if you're Bengali, Pakistani, Guji, Mehman, whatever. They're not bothered as long as you're Muslim. They'll respect you for it. You know, where back in the day, or for Father's Day, they'll probably say, "Oh, he's a Pakistani, he's a Guji, he's this." They're not bothered about all that sort of thing anymore. So we need to start educating the next generation, the youngsters. That's the most important. Whether it's from within the community or the mosques or the madrasas or what. You know, I don't have the answer, but we need to start from within. And it's always been, people have never been happy. If he's got something really good, you know, why has he got it? Why has he got fame and successful?
Jealousy.
So another little point, Daud, before you say, first of all, they're asking, is this information about the boy going missing real? It is. It's not fake news. We can confirm it because we've got people in the studio who know the boy very well, know the parents very well, and they're actually searching for him in... what's the name of that? Evington Village. Evington Village,
We're gonna go,
Evington Park.
I think we're going afterwards.
So we're going to go afterwards, yeah. So another point, and this gives rise to difficult situations. The loss of police, the loss of security, government cuts back, disabling us from having, peace and security. Is this a big issue, guys?
Yes, absolutely.
It plays a part, doesn't it?
No youth clubs, 20,000 policemen taken off the street.
Yeah.
No funding for, community, projects. Nothing. What are the youth going to do?
Yeah, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you saw a Bobby on the beat down this on this road? Apart from if he wants to come and give
you can't
a ticket.
blame the police.
No one's blaming the police.
No.
Actually, no one's. They're saying what we're saying is that there aren't enough police on the
I see
street.
traffic wardens, they love it around here.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
They love traffic wardens.
Yeah.
They must make a killing from around here.
They get compensated.
Yeah.
Well, because we're
Especially
disorderly.
Friday prayers, oh my days.
But no, I mean, on a serious note, then that gives rise to criminals, would-be criminals, to say, well, I can get away with it. I'll wait outside the school and grab a couple of kids. I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll sell drugs to them. Isn't this what's happening?
Resources.
Isn't it giving rise to instability and disorder in our societies because we are not policing our societies properly, like we were back in the 80s and 90s. There were plenty of bobbies on the beat when I was growing up. You couldn't get away with anything.
What's wrong with us ourselves policing our areas?
Well,
Why does it have to be?
have you got time for it, Daud?
No. Yeah, I used to.
It's
We
called
used to do it.
vigilantism. Yeah, it's called
not
vigilantism.
vigilante.
That's
It's
what they call
okay.
it.
Look, all right, and look, going Islamic, Ummah. He used to walk round at night. No, but what I'm saying is, bro.
I know what you're saying,
I'm
bro,
saying
but-
that why can't we? Why do we have to
tried
depend?
it. We did it in the 90s.
Bro, what's stopping us now? What's stopping
wait,
the
wait.
parents? Am I being too much?
Listen,
Am I being too much?
Daud, I absolutely agree with you. You're right, but we live in a
We get classed as vigilantes.
Guys,
Then how many of them brothers would?
Because
Isn't it-
in the
Guys,
90s,
guys.
in the 90s, right, we did the same thing. We patrolled the streets. We got rid of prostitutes.
Yeah.
The police took all the glory for it. We got called vigilantes for doing so.
What
That's what the media's going to pick up on.
Yeah, exactly. Muslim vigilantes. That's what we'll pick on.
That'll sell.
That would sell.
You are a vigi.
You're a
No,
vigi.
I mean, okay. So the point being is that there's a lack of security forces on the street. There's a lack of social fabrics being taken away by this current government and successions of different governments. And you're saying we should pick up the pieces and be the society. That's what you're saying, Daud.
Do you think there's a lack of self-responsibility within ourselves for the whole? Would you say?
Me, myself, and I, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd say,
I'm not saying I'm perfect, 'cause I'm far from it, but I like to try and everyone, rather than just it's about us lot.
To an extent, yeah.
Innit?
Okay, Abdullah Ahmed's got a good point.
Okay, you read it out then, Riaz.
It's
Go on,
all
go
in the
ahead.
government's hands because so many can't get jobs. Then people turn to drugs and crime for money. Yet the government think they can change their minds, yet aren't offering them anything. I don't really think they'll stop with all that money they are earning. It's true.
Good point, yeah.
Drug dealers they look and say, how much are you earning a week? I'm earning £200 a week. I can earn that in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
That's what they say.
I've heard this before from the youth as well.
I mean,
yeah.
not so long ago, I think just before Christmas, there was a child who goes to one of the local schools here, spoke to the parent, year 8, earning £200 a week.
Wow.
From selling drugs.
Yeah, you were saying then you went to see the parents, and what was the response?
My son's going through a bit of a transitional period. If he wants to be a gangster, this is first generation.
Maybe his parents have actually given him money. Maybe the kids giving parents money.
Once somebody did try knocking down all the doors, no help from the community.
So, guys, let's focus on a little bit. First of all, let's call all the people to start texting in and calling in. I think a lot of people are sleeping by now.
No, people are.
You already read.
You know what? You've been raised at how many people? I stay awake till 3 so I can do my prayers. Then I go to sleep.
No, true. So 0116-212-9324. You can phone us.
Or they can message on Facebook.
You can speak to Daud. You can speak to Ahmed. You can speak to Raiz and myself. Or you can text us 07450-925-084. Or as Daud has already said, message us on Facebook. Well, Rahima Patel said that Leicester. He went to Leicester. He went to Judge Meadow in Leicester. That's a very, very well-known school up near Evington Village. Evington Village up there, and it's a beautiful little area actually. You don't expect these type of things to be people missing. I know that Daud is
with you, Daud. There.
I used to live in Evington Village. What's up?
Yeah.
Someone's agreed with you.
Right. Well, let's just get.
Do you think parents hold a massive gap in how they're bringing up their children? Do you think it's been taken away from them by schools? I tell everyone, and maybe I'm incorrect for saying it, but I say the minute your child goes to school, you've just lost 50% of what you think you've got on them. It's only strong parents that actually can hold on to them and be that harsh, and whether it's harsh or whatever it is, what do they call it? Tough love?
Yeah.
Do you think that fast life, both parents are working, do you think that plays a big part?
No, I don't know.
Yes, it does.
Because
in the old days, you
Look
only
at single
start home.
parents then.
Yeah, but in the old days,
that must be.
It was only dad working.
in the old days, dad was working, mum was at home.
She looked
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
the kids weren't so. Well, you had bad apples, but now it seems to be more bad apples than they are good apples.
And we used to get some licks.
Yeah, we used to get
Chili powder in the mouth. Oh my gosh.
We used to get 6 of the best. We can't get even in school. We used to get 6 of the best.
I think Imtiaz Chowdhury is mentioning the fact that poverty, according to a UN report, is systemic. It means it's a failure, massive failure from government, society, from the education system, which is creating systemic poverty in our societies. And then to cap all of that with the rise of criminality, then you take the police out of the equation. What is this going to do? This is the real issue. What's it going to do? And how do we remedy this? Daud has already said vigilantism, maybe paid security forces. Who's going? Well, what's the point?
No, but you're
of us,
saying it wrong, bruv. It's not.
why? What's
that.
the point of us paying our tax? If you know, I mean,
that's like you're passing.
telephone call.
okay, we're going to call Daud. So
That's in the
just
bucket,
wait. I mean, I know we've got more rabbit than Sainsbury's in this room collectively,
Assalamu alaikum.
but let's just do this, brother. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Caller.
Walaikum salam, my brothers. You okay?
Yes, good brother. What's your name?
Ismail.
Brother Ismail, how are you tonight?
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin.
Good.
I'm very well. It's a very important topic that you guys have actually touched on.
Yeah.
I think that I was just explaining to you, Alhamdulillah, that I think that in terms of whether it's the fault of the parents or whether that responsibility has been taken off the kids from the parents to schools, I think what it is, parents in this day and age unfortunately haven't got the tools to be able to keep up with the advancements in how children are growing up. When you think about all the social media influences that they have, when you talk about all the different types of negative forces that come onto our kids, I think it's important as a community that we rally around in providing support for children, but I think that in providing support for parents as well. Some parents, if I think of myself, I'm fortunate. I've got grown kids, so I can utilize the experience that I had from bringing up my older children to the differences in bringing up my 13-year-old at the moment. But I don't think that all parents have that kind of tools, and I don't think many people have the pressure that children actually are going through. But there's lots of support available to parents and to children but through CAMS, through SENDIAS, through psychologists. It's just a case that we haven't actually reached out to these type of bodies and these organizations to get them to come into our community and talk to us about how we can help. If the little bit of work that I've done with children, I realised that sometimes a child that's going through ADHD, autism, or anything along those lines, sometimes getting them involved into active sports actually helps reduce that amount of tension and frustration that a child is going through. So it could be a simple tweak that the parents have to implement to allow the child to exert themselves in a positive way in community projects, and then when they come home, they're a lot more calmer in the home environment because they've used up their energy in a positive way.
So social activism, parents get involved in that, drag their kids around, or not drag them, but literally goad them.
I think it's about getting them. We all say the same thing, that it's about getting them to get outdoors. Whether it's an activity involving running around in the playground, or on a football pitch, or a rugby pitch, or whether it's swimming or gymnastics or martial arts. I know from experience that boxing has a very, very good effect on children that have anger issues. So I think what tends to happen is that children get labelled as being disruptive or being naughty, etc., etc. And then what happens? The parents get frustrated. The parents start trying to chastise them at home. So what happens with a child is that the child ends up having double punishment. They get punishment when they're at school, then they come home, then they get punishment at home, and there's no release for them.
There's no release, and they don't feel wanted almost in that respect, Brother Ismail.
I agree with him 100%.
Absolutely. So I think parents want to discipline their children when you're misbehaving. Obviously, a life lesson is the fact that there is a consequence for bad behaviour. But I also think that schools are a little bit now they're a little bit too sensitive in terms of children who kind of are a little bit alive. I'd say I won't use the word disruptive because every child learns in a different way. But I think that in school, if a child is misbehaving, they're going to get chastised at the school.
Do you think the human element, Brother Ismail, I think the human element has disappeared in our schooling and education and society. Human element of talking to people and understanding, and there are issues. You're saying, look, parents don't have the tools, too many social media influences, not equipped to deal with these issues of the kids growing up too fast, seeing too much, being aware of too much. I agree with you, but let's have a look, because we've got lots of other callers and messages coming in. Want Daud to respond to that, because
I agree with every single thing he's saying. You just missed something. What he's saying is get them out the city, get them out of the houses, get them out the bricks, get them into the outside doing stuff which actually it changes. I took a load of kids that are naughty.
Outdoors activities, outward bound. We used to have all of this stuff going on. We used to.
Still on phone, by the way.
Yep, I know Ismail is listening.
I don't know whether you remember, but years ago, the old Melbourne Road Centre was called Red Star.
Yeah, I was there.
Yep, I used to go
there. I was brought up there.
So I was brought up there as well, and I used to go there play five-side football.
Two-touch, yes.
Two-touch football, and I remember the release that I would get coming out of school, coming out of madrasa, being able to go there and just kick the ball around, just have some space. We don't have that, so what we have to do is we have to make use of the green spaces that we've got around. Spinning Hill Park is fantastic, Humberston Park is fantastic, but it's a case whereby we're always looking for other people to set up something. We don't want to take responsibility ourselves and try and take the lead with something.
That goes back, Brother Ismail, to what we were talking in the beginning, saying that it's about the rise of selfishness and our inability really to look at the bigger picture, the community needs. We look at the individual needs, the family needs, and we've become very insular within our families, particularly in this community. I have to say, I've mentioned this a few times before, I mean, ad infinitum, people are probably bored of that. Well, I've been here for 10 years. You hardly ever get invited outside at all now these days, right?
Where's the spirit of when we talk about Highfields in particular? I grew up at a time when people did not want to live in Highfields. They didn't want to be seen, or you didn't even want to tell people that that's where you lived because it was such a horrible place. But in that, children thrived because there were facilities available and there was a community spirit. Everybody kind of rallied around each other, and that spirit, which is, I wouldn't say it's a cultural thing. I think it's more of an Islamic identity that Islamically we were a community all growing up in that Highfield zone area, and everybody looked after everybody's kids. So if somebody saw me messing around when I was a child, I'd know I'd probably get a clip in the ear, and my parents are going to know about it.
Okay, Brother Ismail, it's been an amazing call, mashallah. We've got loads and loads of calls stacked up, inshallah. Jazakallah khair for that amazing call. And please do call the station again. You're tuned, of course, to Ramadan Special, EAVA FM 102.5 FM. And keep it locked on the dial until the end of Ramadan and beyond. So, Jazakallah khair, brother. We've got some other really important calls going on and messages. Brother Daud, there's a few. There's one from a family member. Is that a Garcia?
I don't know.
I don't know her either.
There's lots of Garcias.
Yeah, go for it, bro. Is she making a point about?
You can say it.
Basically, indoctrination, the inclination, the susceptibility. Basically, she's talking about indoctrination. She's talking about kids are not having they don't have the ability to think anymore.
Been spoon-fed information.
Yes, spoon-fed information.
Just read it how she said it.
No.
She'll turn on you now.
Daud, please.
I'm not scared of
that. Please. Let's see.
Let me read it.
What about you?
Since the onset of television, people have very, very good point. We switch from one channel to another.
But hold on, Riaz. We're not watching television channels anymore.
Yes, we are.
No, well, I don't know about you guys. I don't have a television. Now, but these things are a lot more dangerous.
Did you just say you've not got a TV at home?
Bro, these things are a lot more dangerous. Agree or not?
Did you just say you've not got a television at home?
I don't have a television. Right. So, 101% true regarding drug dealers. Youth around our areas argue why they should work 9-to-5 jobs for peanuts when they walk into a £500 per day when they're drug dealing. Unfortunately, a lot of our younger kids are watching these dealers living lavish lifestyles with brand new cars, designer clothes, the wrong attitude as well, and they're getting sucked in. What disheartens me are the Friday khutbahs at the local masajid, which give khutbahs on how to pray, to fast, etc., yet miss out on the opportunity to address the real issues that youth are encumbered by. Good point, brothers. Let's start with Daud.
So, yes, I agree with what he's saying, but so the kids of today, they go through a phase. I'm very lenient with all of that, what he's just said. I don't agree with it and I don't promote it, but what I try and have, I know that they're going through a phase, and once they get through that phase, hopefully they'll come out the other end.
Good news.
And what's that?
Yeah, let me finish. Let's keep it civil, guys.
No, I'd rather you say that.
Go on.
So basically they normally come out the other end.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes 5 years, 10 years. Sometimes they hit about 26, 27, and then suddenly something can happen where they say...
You're saying there's a phase, and then there's they switch on.
And I'm talking, this is from the 70s. Okay. I've seen that many people go through it.
I'm sorry to cut you. We've got some good news. Riaz, you've just seen some good news.
Alhamdulillah, young boy's been found.
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar.
Very good, mashallah. And it's been confirmed by Arif Jedsi, who was one of our technical crew out there in the studio there with our beautiful, beautiful chief advisor and chief cook and bottle washer. Right, we don't have conversations in the middle of a radio station like that, please. Right, so can we now? Okay, what a guy, man! What a guy, brother Ahmed. You must be quite happy about that news because you knew the guy.
Definitely.
Well, you know the guy.
Mashallah, he's been found. At least he's safe and sound. That's most important.
Yeah, fantastic. Daud,
cheered me up loads.
That has made us.
Really cheered.
High five, bro.
Honestly, I was quite upset.
Yeah, so was I.
I was going to force him to call me afterwards. We were going looking.
It'd be good if we can get that. I tell you what, guys, it'd be really good if we can get one of the family members on the phone and really share what their feelings are. That'd be absolutely excellent. So they can call on 0116 212 9324. Daud, please stop talking when I'm talking. All right, 07450 925 084. This guy's got more rabbit than Sainsbury's, bro. Honestly. Daud, when I'm talking...
It's got ADHD.
Oh, my God. Right, okay, subhanAllah. So, spoon-fed... Bro, Ahmed, read Imtiaz Chowdhury's statement.
Spoon-fed information is so true. It's all about it's all about memory, knowledge these days, rather than actual absorbed and fully comprehended knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. And then lots of Allahu Akbars because the boy was found, alhamdulillah. Uncle Yusuf is shepherding the show well. Mashallah.
Do you think?
Yes.
That
Yes,
they
Uncle.
should teach the children? Okay, I have a friend in Fiji. He was a famous rugby player. Used to play for Leicester Tigers. Played for Fiji, and he's gone back. And what he says is, what you're teaching our children is incorrect. And what he does is, instead of just teaching them rugby, he teaches them agricultural farming. He teaches them loads of different things so that they can survive in that without, and I just think it shows them
Hands-on skills.
Yeah, he's telling them, forget about just this, learn this as well,
Yeah.
And I just think, once you do things with the earth and stuff, it changes something within you.
Riaz, can you read some comments,
Couple
please?
of messages. This is one of my favourite shows because it opens us to issues relevant to our community today. I feel we need to wake up as a community and move away from our passive nature. We need more initiative and open forums, dialogue where we can challenge issues in our community head on. Absolutely.
And then the next point is...
Our massages are great places and hubs of change. Personal opinion, no offence, we can be achieving so much from institutions, in my opinion, and make a great impact in our communities.
Do you think we're doing enough on massages and madrasas?
Right, can I
They
say
try.
for a second? Do you know if everyone's got this thing with the masjids, why doesn't everyone go up to their imam and say, we'd like you to give a talk on this, please?
Well...
Not just wait for them to actually think about it. Go up to them and actually say to them, Malana, please, I'd like to give a talk on this because this is a big problem right now. And then if they don't do it, then complain. But until you actually go up to them yourself and actually say something to them, I'm not defending them in any way. I'm just saying, talk to them. Actually go and speak to them and say, listen, can you give a khutbah on this? Can you give a talk on this? It's like Yusuf.
Well,
Yusuf does his...
I'm sure they've been
Yusuf
spoken to.
sure isn't 100%. What I'm saying is go up to them yourself. You do it yourself. I will do it myself. But I don't have a problem in that bit. You know what I mean?
Daud, I love you, bro.
I
For
love
the
you.
sake of Allah, right?
What do you mean just for that sake? Come on, bro.
No, because that's how the companions... they used to
I
go.
love you, full stop.
But look, don't get into all of this. We'll talk afterwards. But the thing is, wow, what a powerful thing that what Brother Daud said. Doing stuff with the earth changes something within you.
Yeah, 100%.
So you become right, little spiritual.
No, but the thing is,
I've been doing this for a long time. Go on, sorry, carry
we
on.
came from the earth
joking, bro.
and we're going to end up in the earth.
Yeah. Guys, just to remind everyone, brothers and sisters, we're live on Ramadan special EAVA 102.5 FM and on Facebook Live and on Ramadan.fm. Brother Jedsi's out there. He's dying to come in. I can see it.
He can come in. Why not?
But great news is, Alhamdulillah, John Fontaine's joined us. Salams, mashallah. What a
good
roving
name that is.
ambassador for the Deen of Islam he is.
Who is it?
Yeah, John Fontaine.
I like it.
Johnny Boy Fontaine.
I don't know who that is. I just like the second
He was
name.
old.
The only Fontaine I know played for Man U.
No, forget about them. They're finished. They're has-beens. But look, I believe that Johnny Fontaine will probably say a few words now that we've said, given the salam.
That's a good. Yeah.
There we are, brother. Daud, read that one.
I don't like reading, bro.
Okay, I believe sometimes a person can give dawah, but not in a way that everyone understands. Brother Hoblos, Hafidullah, is a good example. Brother Hoblos from Australia.
You lost me on Hoblos.
Mohammed Hoblos.
I've never heard of him, bro.
Yes, you have. The big lad from Australia.
Yeah.
You've heard of him.
Oh, yeah.
But guys, let's get a little bit more. Is YC playing shepherd tonight? Am I a shepherd? No, I'm not a shepherd. I wish I was.
Who said that?
I don't know.
Put it back.
Just ad infinitum. Don't worry about who said it. This is live radio, Daud. Come on, brother. I don't like reading, bruv. Classic, laughing out loud. Ramadan battery is always good.
It's a radio. What am I reading for? I can't even see that. I can't look. At the minute, when I look at that screen, listen, I can see two things.
Okay, guys, great news. The boy has been found. Brother Zian Omar.
It's really good.
Of CFA, the what is it? The Community Football Academy, yeah? They've actually been found, alhamdulillah. Salams from Singapore. But I've just shared it. I tell you what, I've shared it on my page. I did the naughty one, shared it on my page, and
Why is that
to date we've got 48 likes only for Daud, 1 for Riaz, none for me, and 15
Why do you always bully me for? You're always bullying me, innit?
He loves
No,
it,
no.
that's why.
But Daud, I do love you, but are you a little bit...
Do you know, because we're on the radio, I'm giving you a blind, bruv.
Yeah,
That's the
right.
only reason.
But can I ask you?
Yeah.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, go on.
Are you being a little bit Are you living in cloud cuckoo land, thinking that people are going to become less selfish these days?
No.
You think? I think it's got to so bad now. It's just going to get worse and worse.
Okay, so I'm
what
going
do
to
you
tell you
think?
my reasons why. Okay. Jedzi, I know you can hear me.
No,
How many people out of nowhere have come out and are now helping you to help the homeless? Also, here's another one then. You've got people like Tariq Zampaladis with what he's doing. No one's asked him to do that. You know, he's taking kids from every area, taking them horse riding. These are kids that will never, ever, he takes them from every colour, every religion, no one's asked him to do that. So that's another kind. I believe in this yin and yang effect where there's a balance. So I believe that there's lots of good people out there. It's whether they're doing, a lot of people do, okay, I shouldn't say that. I believe some people may be doing good just for the sake of show, but I don't care. But I don't care.
Actually,
because if it still does good, I don't really care.
We got a few more beautiful comments up there. So everybody could understand the Prophet ﷺ, even the layman in Arabia. Maybe that's it. We don't have appropriate messages out there. We don't have appropriate people giving those messages. Even though he was 40, 50, he was talking to children, right? And those children loved him. Do we have leaders and community people that can talk to the youth?
Bro, I think it's very unfair
Yeah.
to try and compare anyone on this planet that's alive to our Prophet. I think it's really unfair to do that because he was a gifted person within him. You know, like him talking to children, everybody else. That's imams doing that, and plus, you know, a lot of imams, they're taught in a certain way. Not all teachers teach very well. Not everyone can actually teach a thing, you know. It's like it's a gift. Like you're good at teaching football, so I'm told. I don't believe it, but I'm told.
Neither do I.
No, but what I'm saying is because you've got that personality, you've got that thing about you. Not everyone has that. Yet there are still people out there without that gift that are trying to teach. Yet kids, when I went to school, there was only 2 teachers, but I thought, oh yeah, I get them, I like them. The rest of them, I just thought, eggs.
Eggs?
Yeah, egghead, I'm being polite.
I mean, something rude. Is that rude? Or
Well, it's a polite way of...
Salaam alaikum. You're right. There are a lot of good people out there. A lot of people out there. A lot of people out there, man. You know what I mean? Right, there's a lot of good people out there. Yes, we agree there are a lot of good people. How do you define what a good person is? I mean, this is the thing. Because a lot of people will say these days that the bar is being moved up and up or down and down. What is a good person? I mean,
I'm not there to compare it, bruv. I just think actions speak louder than words. People, what they do for show, I think there's a lot of people out there. You see, you're kind of being a bit harsh because there's so many people out there doing stuff that nobody will ever hear about.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want anyone to know about money I've given anywhere or anything. I don't want anyone to know. So what people might judge me on, they might, oh, he's harsh. They don't know what I'm like. They don't know if I'm talking to people.
For fame.
Do you see what I'm saying? You know, I'm not looking at you for any funny reason, Riaz. I'm just saying. You know,
what?
No, nothing.
I think just ignore it. You know. Riaz, you haven't said much.
No, I can't say anything. He's doing all the talking.
Guys, let's give
Riaz where Ledgway's in.
Riaz,
Motor mouth over there.
Brother Tariq is another legend. Honestly, brother Tariq. I don't know who Brother Tariq is.
Tariq Zampaladis.
Really?
Yeah, if that's who they're talking about, he's honestly what he does. I'm so proud of everything. You know what? I help him in any way I can because I love what he does. He's helping like what you do with the football. He's taking kids to all different places, teaching them not just how to ride a horse. You have to look after the horse. You have to mock out. You have to wash the horses. You have to do so much. He's been on television. He's been on many things.
Okay, mashallah. Where are we going with this conversation? We were talking about the rise of the far right originally, and we were talking about Euro elections. Does anyone really know about what's going on with the European elections? Do you really, Zed? Sorry, not Zed. Your name is Riaz.
Not a lot.
Riaz, do you know about what are these European elections about? Did you go out and vote?
No.
What is going on? This is we'll talk about Tariq in a minute. Okay.
Not a lot, to be honest with you. I don't even know what's going on with the European elections.
Right.
I don't even know what it means.
Did you vote?
Do you know,
I
Daud?
honestly say I have not got a single clue because I just think it's all a lie.
Do you don't know? So, there's 4 people in this room. I actually don't know what the European elections were all about, apart from voting in MEPs, members of Parliament for Europe, in about 20 different places around the UK. East Midlands is one of them. That's what I was reading about. And there was a whole bunch of names. Now, I didn't know them from Tom, Dick and Harry. I did not know those names. I have never seen them. I've never spoke to them. So how am I going to make an informed choice about who to vote in? Riaz?
No idea, mate.
There we are. So where is the democracy, guys?
It's all brainwashing. It's all a lie.
What do the European members do? What do they do?
Well, they dictate to us about how we live in
this country.
England. Apparently, what they do is dictate to us what our laws are, what we do. Okay, so people ain't going to like me for this, but I'm kind of like, let's see.
So what about the MPs that are already here then? I mean,
well,
the MPs
you
that
know
are
my view on them already.
No, but the point is, right, what are these European MPs got? How can they make decisions? How can they change this?
Okay, let's pick
Beyond my
this up.
knowledge.
Let's get the public involved. Let's get the public involved, guys, please.
Yeah.
Okay, so your Ramadan special, EAVA 102.5 FM and Ramadan.fm on the World Wide Web. 0116 212 9324 on the telephones. You can call us and tell us, what are the European elections all about? Did you vote? In this case, did you vote for anyone that you actually knew what they stood for? You can text us 07450 925 084 or on the Facebook Live you can message us. There's plenty of ways to get hold of us. There's no excuses. This is the month of Ramadan. We give you lots of barakah and lots of mercy, Brother Ahmed. So going back to this European election thing, because we're going to introduce another guest who's coming to the studio. I always say the best thing is to have one guest at a time. Well, we got 4 today. We've got lots of barakah.
You're blessed.
Yeah. Well, I might not be blessed with these guests, but I mean, tell us, Ahmed.
Well, then, if we're
seriously,
going
what's
to
it all
European
about?
MPs,
Yeah.
isn't Brexit going to play a big part?
Yeah. But so we're being told we're leaving Europe, but we're voting people in. We're voting people in to represent us in Europe. Brother Arif Jedsi, salamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Go close to the mic, far away from Daud as much as possible. Yeah, go on. Go for it, Arif.
What's that about?
What is this European election stuff
vote?
all about, bro?
I just like to say that I don't do politics.
Well,
So
okay,
you asked me
no,
wrong
neither do we, but we're asking, what's it all about, brother? Are we living in a democracy or a shamocracy? This is the question.
Why the layman and not the laywoman?
Well, lay people.
Lay people.
Yeah.
As long as you don't,
Okay,
you better not get into that.
we've got comments saying this
Yeah.
European elections are a load of rubbish. Voting for people who represent us who we don't even know. How can we vote for someone we don't know and what they stand for? Look at Tommy Robinson when that woman interviewed him.
Yes.
He didn't have a clue what he's standing for.
Yes.
What changes are you going to make? He was like, he couldn't.
He was stuttering.
He was stuttering. He just kept going back to people should vote for me.
He was talking about the problem, he wasn't giving any solutions.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
No.
So, Daud,
I got a
I know you're going to say something, so go for it, bro.
What would you change?
Okay, what I would do is I would make free education, I'd actually free education, right? And to bring proper healthcare back and respect for human beings. I want people to respect each other. So I would look at the media and I would put some controls in place with the media. I would put real controls in because I think they are the middlemen who are causing the disunity and the hate between people. I think personally. So those 3 things: education, healthcare, and media responsibility.
Okay, so where are you going to take the money from to do that?
Well, that's what you do. You create a society which is not based on selfishness. And you ask people to start giving resources back to society, and you prove that it works. Your model will work because people, you remember that David Cameron before he left, he talked about the big society. He actually was right. But he didn't resource the big society, did he? Ramadan special on EAVA 102.5 FM. MashaAllah. I'd just like to say that somebody's saying that voting, is wonderful. Voting is wonderful. And they want to vote with their hands and feet, Brother Arif. Brother Arif.
Well, what you were saying, you know what? There is funding pots out there available, and it's about managing the budgets a lot better. But the thing is, the issues we're talking about, they're not just recent. They stem back to a good 20, 30 years of continuously, slowly eroding the community and people's way of thinking. And what happens is eventually people just see it as a norm.
Yeah,
that's the problem. So the problems are quite deep rooted.
Absolutely. I believe that is true because it has been I remember not long ago, you used to walk into a doctor's surgery, you get an appointment straight away. Now, you can literally be cross-examined to see if your condition is bad enough to be sent home or not. I mean, that to me means we don't care about people. We stop. Either we do have a health service or we don't have a health service. You know what I mean? That's your kids at school. You can't communicate with the teacher one-on-one anymore. Just me and the teacher talking, how's my son, how's little Ahmed doing, how's Tariq doing, how's Jemima doing?
It's just in parents' evenings.
Yeah, but even the parents' evenings are very controlled affairs, very contrived, you know? What's going on with our society?
He sounds very angry, doesn't he?
No. Go for it, Mr.
What
Daud.
it is, I think...
Tell me, what's it all about? Go.
I think what it is, I think the personal touch has gone from a lot of services. It's very statistics and number based now.
Yeah.
And I think that comes down from upper echelons down to the management, and then that filters down to the people.
Raiz, tell me what you would change.
Your hairstyle.
No, I'm being serious for a second. For this
Your
one
beard.
side. You're just jealous because you've got no hair. That's all it is.
What would I change? I'd change immigration.
What would you do with immigration?
I will let every Tom, Dick and Harry in.
So are you what I believe as well, that you should only let like families with children in?
Yes, and people that have skills.
And people think I'm harsh for thinking that, but
Right.
but then you've actually been down there
They're
and seen.
strain on the NHS, they're strain on schools, they're strain on everything. So I think we should bring in people who are like women and children and people with skills.
And where do you think that funding? Where would you take funding from to do that?
From the rich.
From
Because they avoid tax paying. A lot of them don't pay tax, they avoid it.
I just.
Yeah.
What would you change,
But
bro?
hold on a minute. Let's just refocus this. I mean, who's not paying tax? I mean, somebody just said we're not paying tax
So
here.
major corporations.
Or these are people coming in. Major corporations that are due
Offshore
billions
accounts.
and billions and billions of dollars or pounds in tax. Are they paying it? And do we need to look at them first before we start looking at a few minnows?
The question is, how are they getting away with it? That's the root problem. When you tackle that, then you'll obviously
stay on the mic. I'd like to hear your opinion on universal credit and whether or not it has contributed to the rise of homelessness. That is from one of the viewers out there live.
The honest truth, yes. Homelessness and struggling families. A lot of the guys that we are helping into housing, for example, if the system for whatever reason messes up their benefits when it's coming in, or they'll get overpaid, for example, and that money gets spent, then they're going like literally 6-7 weeks without any money. And then what do you do then? You've got to either go to food banks or come to people like us who's got emergency food packs, etc. So the system is flawed. And you know what? I'm going to say this, but the ladies that I work with actually know the universal credit system better than their own staff do, because they actually tell them, well, hold on, you can do this and this. Oh, can we? Oh,
loopholes.
Not even loopholes. It's all written in black and white. Something that they don't advertise or tell people is when you're on universal credit, as long as your ID is verified, you can actually get an advance payment that gets taken back slowly over time, over a year or whatever. But they don't tell that to people. So you've got people in limbo literally for 5 weeks and surviving on peanuts, literally £14 a week.
So who's picking up the pieces?
Well,
who's picking up the pieces?
Charities and groups out there. I mean, look at Salma tomorrow. She's got that on Saturday. She's got a food drive going on.
Right, guys, come on.
Please read that.
Yeah, we are. We're going to read it, but we're focusing a little bit. It's very important.
It's a very serious issue,
being made. Daud, please, because look, the thing is, so who's picking up the pieces? Actually, within the Muslim community, would you say that we're doing our fair share? I want to get this point across.
Yes, we are, definitely, without a doubt. I mean, you just got to look at the organisation. It's not just the Muslim community, it's everybody banding together. This whole community cohesion thing. People working together will make a difference. And, you know, literally what it says there, together we can make a difference. And we can, and we are.
Okay, Daud is itching to read the next comment out, so we're going to allow him.
I'm actually going to read something, wait. Please no names, but one of the best politicians I've seen in recent times was Ali G in the house.
Okay.
What's going on?
Right, okay.
Was he the reggae ambassador?
No, he said no name.
No names.
The thing is,
I'm
he said no name.
sleepy, that's why.
Yeah, that's right. No, look, guys, seriously, because we're getting onto something here, because you said that in the beginning of the show that we're selfish, we've become more and more selfish, and then you started saying we need to get less selfish. Do you think we're actually very, very selfish, Arif? I mean, we have a lot of people out there. You know, Salman, you've got One Roof, you've got your organisation. Even City Retreat was doing a bit of work for a while, although it's tried to realign itself a little bit. But there are a lot of organisations out there within our community doing good work, and they're picking up the pieces from the central government. Are they being recognised for that work?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, the way to get recognised is you have to have a media presence. You have to take advantage of all the social media platforms out there, from not just the Facebook and the Instagram, but you've also got then gone to Twitter, because a lot of business users on there, and LinkedIn. You can tap into a different community altogether on LinkedIn.
Well, we've got loads of messages. You need to read that out.
Just going on to what he's saying.
Yeah,
I've seen that many groups since Facebook's put out about homeless and stuff. I've seen that many people out there. This is where some points of the media are good. Have actually gone out their way to try and do more and more homeless stuff. I've seen an increase in that now. Have you seen that?
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, you know, it's a concerted effort, and it takes time to actually get yourself to a level where the media is going to take interest in what you do.
Are you doing work with a masajid?
Unfortunately not.
Why not? Have you reached out to them?
I have in the past. Other people I know have as well. But there's a lot of red tape, so to say.
So great to hear, yeah.
We've got Mariam Sokrani says it's so true. People caring and we really wish to hear is gone. There's no patience and no empathy. No patience and no empathy.
To a certain extent, depending on what scenario you're in.
Yeah. Okay, so
Can I ask a question as well?
Go for it.
Do you think there's an issue in our own community as well?
With regards to,
You know, like, let's just say just say dad's working, mum can't afford it, you know, maybe the food on the table and stuff like that. They're a bit ashamed to come to food banks, etc. and stuff like that.
well, I was just saying this the other day, potentially, but in the last year, we've helped a lot more Muslim families than we have in the past, and individuals as well. Some of them are people that have just come into the country recently, but yeah, we are helping a lot more families, definitely, that are Muslim.
Would you be ashamed to go to a food bank?
No.
Would you, Riaz? I think you'd have a problem with it. I would.
I've got to
be embarrassing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a bit of a...
It's a bit taboo. It's a taboo.
No, I just think I'd feel a bit embarrassed about it.
We used to get free school dinners. It was embarrassing.
Oh no, I wasn't embarrassed about that.
No,
Give me some
kids,
custard.
I was embarrassed to get free school dinners.
Really?
Yeah,
I got free school
for a period of time. My dad wasn't working, so I got free school dinners. All over kids, because I went to Roundhill. All the other kids used to look at you and think, he's got free school dinners.
But I didn't care.
Not Roundhill,
Some
sorry.
days school dinners was good.
Herrick Junior, sorry.
We've got a message from Amrin bin Razak. Says, Salams, how active are we? Instead of being armchair critics, we've got to stop blaming others and each other. Proactivism is key. Challenge what needs challenging, but let's change the narrative and stop blaming the youth and our masajid. Change what's within. Great show, Jazakallah khair.
Good point.
Is that a good point? That is, it starts. Change comes, and that's what the Quran says, right? Change comes from within.
Within, definitely. You know what I feel is, I think there needs to be a more concerted effort within our community, in a sense, to get people to then get actively involved in helping the less fortunate. Look, alhamdulillah, we do a lot of work, charity work outside of this country.
Yeah.
But, you know, for community cohesion purpose, and the needs actually there in our city, whether it's food bank or homelessness or, drug use and getting people off there, and the support networks that are needed, we need to get actively involved in that. And I think the youth is the key, because going forward, they are the future.
Do you think schools should... You know, they do day trips out. Do you think they should do day trips out with the kids to show them homelessness, or get them involved in a way, or bring them to one of your things to show them what's out there? Because they live in a bit of a bubble, don't they? When you're a kid, you don't realise good and bad really that much, or you don't. There's certain things you don't see, so it'd be good to educate. Like, I'm not going into the convo, but they want to educate you on some weird stuff at school at the minute, which I'm not going to go into. But they don't want to educate you on things like homelessness and things that are real of what I think is a real importance, more than what they're trying to school you on.
There's definitely a more concerted effort to get children involved with homelessness and poverty. I know, for example, like at Christmas, there's a school just off Welford Road, and they actually advertise that we're going to do an event for the homeless, a Christmas meal with presents, etc., haircuts and whatnot. And what they do is they actually pick people up in town at a pre-arranged time, give tickets out, and kind of say like, okay, make sure you're here at this time, and they do 2-3 trips in a minibus. That's the kids getting involved in helping.
Arif, we've spoken about homelessness in the town, but there's a lot of poverty that never gets seen by people. They're not out there begging. They're not asking for £1 on the street. They're actually out there living in the sticks around, and they've got very little money and very little food on the table. What's being done to address those issues?
Well, from our point of view, obviously we'll support anyone we can, and so will a lot of our volunteers. Like, for example, we'll call Help the Homeless Leicester, but our reach goes out to Leicestershire, and we get messages from Colville, Earl Shilton, places like that. And we've actually got volunteers out there that will actually go and attend and see people and help them out as well.
Yeah.
So, poverty is definitely on the rise, 100%, without a doubt.
I've got a question for you. This is going back to the original topic.
Yeah.
Have you found any racism within some of the homelessness?
What, towards us?
Because it's because I was there a few days ago, and there's a few people that I know, and I was interested to see how they approach you all and how they are with you.
No, not really. The weirdest one I ever had was in very early days. Was a chap actually goes to me when we helped him out. Why are you helping me for? I said, hey, what do you mean? Because you're Muslim. I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm not supposed to help you. Literally, he actually said that to my face.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay. And then there was an incident a couple of weeks ago where she wasn't there for the meal, this lady. She was just walking past, and she's seen everything, and she was overwhelmed. And she came over to me, gave me £5 and said, I was homeless once in Poole or Dorset or wherever it was. And then I don't know what's happened to her. She's decided she needs a pair of socks. One of our volunteers has got her a pair of socks, and they're not black socks, they're black and white socks. And she's literally flipped the lid. And she's like, give him my £5 back. I'm like, all right, there you go. Next week, she's gone up to some guy, pokes him in the face, and he's actually smacked her.
Is this the one where somebody intervened and dealt with the situation?
Yeah, and then she's got up, and then as she's walking off, she said to Riaz, you Muslim swore at us. I'm like, we were like, wow.
Bleep.
But I don't know.
Okay, so I mean, these issues. So there's a lot of. I mean, are we talking to these people at the same time, and trying to give them a spiritual message? Because isn't that what's underlying homelessness, really?
Yeah, but if you're talking about the racism issue, through our actions, that is what works 110%. I mean, I get loads of messages. I've got quite a few. Like, we're talking like one was a 74-year-old woman in the Scottish Highlands who hated Catholics.
Yeah.
Forget Muslims. And when her daughter told her about she's volunteering with a voluntary group, and it's run by a guy called Arif, she's like, what's one of them? Literally said that to her.
What's one of them?
Yes. So she goes, oh, it's a Muslim guy. She goes, no way, why would a Muslim be helping our people in this country? And she's actually showed her the videos at Christmas, and she goes, her mum's actually changed her views, where she's actually telling people that Muslims aren't bad where she lives. That's just one. I mean, we get another message from a guy who basically, I think he was potentially far right, and he goes, you know what, I'm actually going to go out and speak to my mates and show your videos, because we don't see this. So, this is how you're going to change your views through your actions, 100%.
Who is HTH? Is that you guys? Right, HTH is the real deal. I can call them anytime, and they're always there to offer real help, unlike many other organizations. This is a message on Facebook. What I was actually referring to is a spiritual reason for living. I mean, I'm saying, are we now trying to, because giving food and doing all that work, who is it for? Why do we do that work? Arif, why do you do that work? Daud, why do you do work?
Brother,
is it obvious?
It is obvious, brother. No, listen. The only thing I'm scared of, truthfully, thing that I'm scared of in life is the condition. Wow. Did you see?
Go for it.
You're so lucky on the radio, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's throwing me on that one. The only thing I'm scared of in life is the condition of my soul when I'm dead. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. That's the only thing that I think, so it's like, but I feel like getting him now, but I'm going to behave.
No. Arif,
Yeah.
seriously, I mean, you must be having some spiritual conversations with people. They must be asking you, listen, what's motivating you to do this work?
Just the fact that we're compassionate, we've got a caring nature, potentially from Islam as well. But then obviously there's other groups out there that do charity work as well. But from our religious perspective as well.
But we don't need to be shy about that. Why are
I'm
Muslims
not
shy? No, Riaz, why are Muslims shy about me being Muslim and saying I'm doing it because I've got that spiritual message?
Because of the media.
Yeah, he's right.
Because we've been dehumanized in the media.
And because we feel like we need to defend our actions. And saying you're Muslim, if you're not a confident person, you potentially get vilified for it sometimes.
Yeah,
literally.
yeah. And many of us cannot answer the questions that the doubters bring because we don't know our faith properly, right?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Okay.
Do you know what? Why do we need to bring our religion into it?
Why are you living? Why are you living?
No. Yeah, but that's not the point. You don't have to throw Islam in everyone's face every 2 seconds, bruv. They can see the man's got. Look, I can look at Raiz and know my man's a Muslim. I can see it. Now his actions will speak for him. I don't need to throw it in because not everyone can talk. Really, listen. I brought a load of rugby players once, famous rugby players.
Yeah.
And what did I say? I don't want anyone talking about Islam to them. Why? Because that's what people expect from Muslims.
Well, you know that's what the City Retreat has been doing, is not talking about faith, but activating Islam,
Just one thing, like through my actions, alhamdulillah, I've had people ask me for English Qurans. Literally, I've posted them out to people. We've had people take shahada, as you know. You know, so through actions do speak louder than words. And
they do.
Again, the social media thing, it's a necessary evil in this day and age.
Yeah,
it really is.
Guys, honestly, I'm playing devil's advocate with you guys.
Well, stop.
I'm saying, do we need to be vocalizing about? No, because other people are vocalizing their faith, and they're doing those actions. They vocalize.
We're not them, bro.
They're not vilified in the media. That's
we're not them, bro. All I'm saying is, not everyone can talk Islam. Not everyone can talk. Not everyone's got that gift, bro. You've got that natural gift, which is why.
Really.
Okay, look, just shush. Poke you in the eye in a minute. What I'm saying is,
you can't tell me to shush. I'm the host, bro.
No, you're not the host. It's meant to be his show. He's put you there because he's off asleep.
Daud, offer him out. Go on.
I can't do that, bro. He's
No, seriously, guys. This is.
What I'm saying is this. Look, it takes somebody with a good gift that can talk to people correctly without ramming it down their throat. Because I've listened to some guys, and these are good people. It's just that they like to shout preach. So they like to throw it down you.
Noor Aslam says, actions do speak louder than words. Giving dawah through our actions is really important. Arif, you're a true legend. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make your nose be rubbed in the dust. That's what the Prophet ﷺ said. When a person flatters a person, and mashallah, I'm proud of you, bro. Okay, mashallah, you're doing great, amazing job, and helping with the homeless in Leicester. You're changing perceptions of Muslims with helping non-Muslims. Alhamdulillah.
Can I just say something?
A few messages, bro.
Okay, look. Someone said, what's wrong with black and white socks? You don't even wear socks, bro. Look, you're wearing shoes with no socks.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, brother, as well.
I'm just saying.
But relating to what the ladies just said, you know what? I pray all the time that Allah keeps me humble.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you've got that, it shines through when you're humble and you've got humility.
This is where your friends come into it, because I'm sure someone rang you up making sure you were being humble as well. I gave you enough calls, didn't I?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, but so guys,
I do the same to you, don't I?
Ahmed, I want to talk to you. Just flip this conversation for the. I think this probably will be the last sort of item in the show, because we've been going for some, and we do need to think about tomorrow and fasting and stuff, and we need to think about Ramadan, benefiting from this beautiful month of Ramadan. You know, what has changed for you in Ramadan? Number one, and I want you to talk very briefly after that about the issue of racism in football, and sort of relate that to what solutions have we got as a community to address that Islamophobia and that hate within the indigenous community, is that the wrong word? The wider society? I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. Bro.
Well, I won't go much into it because I think we're talking about it tomorrow, aren't we?
So, yes, we are.
Tomorrow, 6 o'clock. So, but I mean, for me personally, just to put it in short layman's terms, is education. It's educating people.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, we're going to discuss this more tomorrow.
Cut it off.
So tomorrow,
6 o'clock.
So 6 o'clock, everyone. Tomorrow, put that in your diary. We're going to be talking about racism in football. Actually, today, because it's later on today. There we are. We've been talking such a long time, Daud.
Akil has spoken.
Yeah, Akil has. Right, guys, can someone read that message out? I think it looks... Have a read of it.
Are we supposed to be reading that?
Have a read of it. Yes, there's a message over there. Brother Arif, you want to...
All faiths have charities aligned to their places of worship. The churches, the temples, the synagogues, etc. Do we have charities directly linked to our places of worship? In the main. Our places of worship should be at the front with the core principles of Islam. We have hundreds and hundreds of excellent charity groups locally, but via our places of worship, there's not many. We don't send to charity through the front door of our places of worship like other faiths do. So some of the excellent work being done is seen in isolation, absent from the faith.
Very, very, very good point.
Yeah.
Because look, the Sikh temple on East Park Road, they open the doors every day for food.
All of them do. All the good ones do.
Do it. Churches do it. We don't do it.
It's like the old saying, isn't it? English saying, clean your own backyard before you go out and clean everybody else's.
What do we do more then? What is it we're doing more?
Foreign aid.
Yeah, we're sending, what is it,
No.
huge
What
numbers.
What is it our mosques are doing more and lacking in?
Well, I think they need to have some kind of social interaction with the wider community in their locality. So maybe more open days or call them in for dinners, etc.
Yeah.
Even like maybe potentially open up a youth club if you've got a building attached to the mosque, for example.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And that's what needs to be done.
Open to everyone, though.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
100%.
you're listening to
Definitely.
Ramadan Special EAVA 102.5 FM. Keep it locked on the dial until the end of Ramadan and beyond, because I think we're going to be broadcasting for about 5 days after Ramadan. Alhamdulillah. Now, the masjids, we're talking about masajid or mosques or collectively. So I've travelled a lot, and what I saw in Australia with the UMA, United Muslims of Australia, was this: they bought a massive industrial complex, and the first things that they were thinking about, as you walk in the door, there's a beautiful coffee and eatery. On the other side, there's a maxed out gym, really amazing gym facility. Then you walk down a little bit further, on the right hand side, there's an amazing sports centre, sports hall, basketball pitch, football pitch, and then there's a little place to pray. Okay. Now that to me is what we are missing out. And now I think some of the massages are doing excellent work. Let's not knock them, because they were uncles that literally sweated blood to open those places, right? So we're not going to knock them, and I have in the past, and it was wrong with me. But you know, what we now have is a second, third, fourth generation, potentially, that now have totally different needs, don't they?
100%.
Isn't that right, Arif?
Definitely. If you look at like what the 60s, 70s, when a lot of the South Asian community came in, a lot of these mosques and stuff started in terraced houses that a few people would get together and band some money together, and houses were like 2-3 grand, and that's where they started from. And they brought their principles, ethics, and values from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, wherever it is, over here. And then, but what the thing is, the committees have kind of passed down through the sons or family members, etc., and they've not changed their view on what a mosque should be in 21st century Britain. And like you said, with a lot of the youth now, racism is within the communities, it's kind of dwindling down because people mix with each other. But to get like, for example, a Muslim to bring a non-Muslim to the mosque, it doesn't happen. But if you have a community centre attached to it where anybody's welcome, that'll happen.
Bro, we have a problem in Leicester. I'm going to suggest you, this is my suggestion, we have a problem in Leicester with our community, because other cities, like we were holding that Taste Ramadan thing on the 18th of May, on Saturday. I put it out there everywhere. Who came to that event, and who did they bring?
All Muslims.
All Muslims.
I bought a Muslim.
Listen, guys. No, honestly, this is because
non-Muslim.
Yes.
Oh yes, I did. Yes.
I know you did, because you're look. But generally speaking, people who are not engaged in the wider society, they're just bringing they're thinking taste Ramadan, I'm going to taste Ramadan. But they've been tasting Ramadan for 45 years, so some of them. Now, when is it going to change, Arif? When is it going to change, Riaz?
I have no idea.
Well,
what's he going to take to change?
It's got to be a concerted effort by everybody. Literally, the mosque, the Federation of Mosques, or someone needs to basically tackle this issue head on and have a plan of how to do it. Everything that you're going to do needs a plan. You can't just have change overnight just like that. It needs to be a concerted effort, and there needs to be a plan in place where people are going to take relevant steps. You've got this responsibility, and you've got this responsibility. You're geographically located here, so you could potentially do this, etc. And it's got to be a plan.
So you need to be working with the City Retreat after this conversation, right?
We do anyway. You guys refer people
on a serious note,
on
a serious note, because we have made the reason why I'm going to be very frank and honest. I had to pull away from direct contact with the homeless community because I didn't know how to deal with them. I didn't have the skills, I didn't have the time, I didn't have the volunteers, I didn't have resources. So we were,
wasn't it?
yeah, it was really hard, but we kept a smile on our face and we went through it and we had amazing experiences. Well, what we found then, it alienated us from dealing with the rest of society. So we were finding ourselves firefighting all the time. Brothers were coming in, our brothers and sisters in humanity, and they were just wreaking havoc in places. And then the drugs started, and then injections around the back. And, so when then the rest of the community then said, oh, look at these guys, homeless place. Oh, no. Yeah, and then they actually turned away from us. Now, so we together need to work as communities together and pull together, isn't it? Hold on to the rope of Allah together and don't get divided. That's what the Quran says, yeah?
Also, the neighbours were complaining, weren't they?
They were, yeah. And Raiz was a centre manager at that time. Daud.
Do you think he doesn't get complaints?
Oh,
mate, he gets attacked left, right and centre. Innit? For being on the market stores and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? It's part and parcel of the people that we work with. It's very complex, the issue of homelessness. There's so many different angles, so many different, kind of people that you've got to work with. And like I said, we tackle it on a 360-degree basis on like not just food and clothing, which a lot of people do, but actually solving the issue, which is housing people, literally.
We got some lovely messages coming in. Let's just go through some of them, right? So, Brother Ahmed, do you want to read a few?
We've got one there is, sometimes trying to preach directly puts people off, especially when it comes from people who are not trained in dawah.
Right, okay. And then smiling faces from Imtiaz.
And we've got a brother from
Oman.
Folly from Oman. Thank you, Jazakallah.
Wow.
And then we've got, Prophet ﷺ said, Islam will increase by good character. We need to focus on that, caring for humanity. And Brother Arif, if you could read a few then. Don't read that one.
Okay.
Right, okay. Youth clubs
in mosque is ideal, definitely 100%. Sometimes we have sheikhs that come from abroad where money is needed to attend a lecture, but not everyone can afford, so others miss out. I totally agree with you, brother. We should all work together 110%. I've been speaking about this so openly so much over the years. We do not open the door to the public. The Sikh temple has a gym and food for everybody. There's a youth place and the preschool that caters for no Sikh with good Ofsted. We come from a faith, health and well-being is so important, yet we are so behind. She's right.
Yeah,
she's right.
It's like I was saying to people, I can't remember what it was, and I was saying, why is it we only give to Islamic charities? Why are we not giving to other charities as well?
That is a problem in our Muslim community. Because look at last year, LIA, Alhamdulillah, they pledged to try and raise 10k for Help the Homeless Leicester, and they managed to raise 475 grand for obviously the
overseas.
Stuff but for us, they only managed to raise 1,060. Obviously, that's no fault of their own. That's what the public gave. So it just shows you that there's a.
I think, in difference to what I just said, I gave a non-Muslim food that was hungry on Taste of Ramadan night. Maybe outside, he means, yeah?
Yeah. You see, like, these things, you've got, like, rainbows. It's called rainbows, right? For children. Cancer doesn't care what religion you are, what colour you are, any of these things. Yet, we never give to any cancer things, like, where, like rainbows, where it's for the kids that are...
People do, man.
Oh, what, we do?
Well, yeah, look at
Riders
of Shop. Yeah,
okay, so that's the only ones that I know of.
No, but other people do as well, like Loros and things like that.
Yeah, but I'm on about us as Muslims, bro.
Yeah, they must do.
You just said, they must do.
Well, let's just get a fact, because according to the Charities Commission, number one givers in the UK are overwhelmingly Muslims, right? So, but are we just giving it to we're not equalising it or balancing out the way we give, are we?
Is
that right?
I was educated that we can't give Zakat.
Fidya.
Okay, and what?
Fidya, the one where you can't.
Some people that do. I'm saying that we don't do enough.
No,
That's what I'm saying. I don't mean it. I'm not. You know.
No, you're right.
We're going full circle here because we started talking about the rise of the far right. We talked about Euro elections. No one's got a clue what's going on. The rise of the far right, where we were saying, yes, that is a reality. What is causing that? We said we are out there, we're giving, but we're not actually doing it collectively. We're not unified in that. Some of our other centres, our masajid, they're not working together with some of the organisation. That needs to be corrected, am I right? And then we said the disorder in society is now getting more, it's increasing and increasing. So, ultimately, is it about leadership and unification of the Muslim organisations so that we can put a proper message of dawah out there?
Potentially, yes. There needs to be a plan in place, like I said, and it needs to be, certain different mosques and different kind of community leaders that get together with other faiths and other community leaders and make a plan, literally. And that's the only way you're going to go forward.
But the problem is getting them all together, working together.
If you want something bad enough, it can happen.
That's the thing.
110% it can happen. Of course it can.
Absolutely.
Announce that one just there.
Yeah, we go for it.
Go for it.
When is the local pledge day for the local charities?
Apparently that's on the radio coming up very, very shortly, but we're not sure. It hasn't been announced yet, that date. So that will be a collection day specifically for local charities doing local work.
So what you're saying is Akil's put something on the TV that he has no answer for.
No, he has an answer, but it's in the back of his mind somewhere. Right, alhamdulillah, guys, this has been an amazing show. Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all those brothers and sisters who've been partaking.
What was the good news today? What was the best news?
Well, the great news, you announced it, Daud.
The child was found.
Child was found that was lost earlier on after 3 o'clock. From 3 o'clock to 12 o'clock he was lost. Can you imagine how frustrated and how scared the parents would be as all of us would have been. Okay, right. Okay, guys, let's not get... So another message, as Muslims, we should do as much as we can to make a difference. All good deeds count, whether it's big or small. What's the saying? The saying is that what the left hand doesn't know. So the right hand gives charity, so the left hand doesn't know, and the person will be accorded to the shade on the day of judgment when there's no shade, but the shade of Allah when he does that. Correct me if I'm wrong, that's right. So Nur Aslam, very correct. Ameen. So other people are saying. Final words from all of you. We started, as I said, talking about the far right and Islamophobia basically on the increase. What is the solutions? We've been talking about social activism and Riaz, you've got some good ideas about how we can put people into the middle ground. In the
This guy today.
Go for it, Bob. He's not on it today.
Not on it today. Basically, just get out there, show good character, engage with people. Don't talk to Dawood, whatever you do. You just take over the show. And basically, just get out there and talk to people. It's all about engaging with people, talking to people.
Talk correctly to people.
Ahmed,
exactly.
Do you need to be more diverse in your football management, in your football coaching?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I think we do. We definitely need to. We need to be proud of who we are and what we are. That's the most important thing. There's no point shying away. We're born Muslims, and football's one of them that breaks down a lot of barriers, and that's the most important thing.
One of the things I'll just come back to you because I've been on the sidelines, cheering CFA teams on for a long time, but what I've noticed is a lot of the parents get very flustered and start effing and blinding in front of the kids.
No, they do not.
Yes, they do.
Do you not have a red card? No. Yeah, my friend.
Not ours. No.
The solution is Islamic tarbiyah. Tarbiyah meaning correction Islamically. These guys need some serious correction because otherwise their kids are just going to have
They're trying to live their
childhood dreams.
My friend has strict rules that all the families know that if you so much as say one word, he shows you a red card, you have to get off the whole field.
Who's your friend? Well, you're finished then, aren't you?
You know him. You
I think that must be Daud. That sounds like Daud.
Anyone raising their voice to the children?
On a very serious note, because we're going to finish it now.
Akil has spoken.
What is the solution for that? Seriously, because I've noticed that until they get older, even the older teams, the senior, there's not much Islam between them. And most of them are Muslims, aside from 2 or 3 non-Muslims that have embedded into the team, which is really good to see. Yeah, there's a little bit of diversity, and that's in fair play to you guys. But what is the solution, bro?
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a real tough one.
Red card.
You're getting red card.
Okay, Arif, in your role in your community, there's a lot of crossovers from what we're talking about. Football, we're talking about far right, standing up to the far right, which is Raiz is doing. You're talking about homelessness and social activism. What's the final few words from you, really?
I think it's important, as we've just discussed, for the Muslim community to get involved in more local charities, definitely, without a doubt. And when it comes to homelessness, there are a lot of stereotypes out there. It's very difficult to, decipher who's genuine, who's not. Is your money going to get spent on the usual, what you think it is, the drugs, drink, whatever it is, or is actually going to come to some good use? That's what we're there for. Yeah. Utilize us as a vehicle to basically, put your money to good use, because alhamdulillah, we actually are making a difference. So, get in touch.
Last final words, Jazakallah khair from Arif. Brother Daud, in your role, your role is, of course, cutting across many of these different spectrums that we're talking about. Last few words from you, my brother?
I'm just happy that the child is found. That's it. That's done my whole day. Honestly, that's
it. That's
absolutely beautifully cheered me up today.
Yeah. What does EAVA stand for? It means the voice of East Africa, East African voice of something. I've forgotten what the A stands for. However, don't worry, guys, because it's what the important bit is. Ramadan special EAVA 102.5 FM. You've been listening to us on this, which has been a beautiful program, and hopefully there's been some solutions. There's been some banter. We've definitely had that, and we've had. I hope that we can have a lot more conversation. And the great news is, as Daud has said, we found the child collectively. We made dua. Beautiful month of Ramadan, fantastic. You keep with your football, you keep with your homeless support work, you keep giving banter, brother, and Riyaz, keep sleeping. Assalamu alaikum. I can't believe he's fell asleep. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Take care, brothers and sisters.